So, let's talk about a question that's probably on a lot of your minds. Where is the absolute best place to retire? Well, a brand new, really comprehensive study has crunched the numbers on all 50 states. And you know what? The results might just surprise you. Let's dive in and see where your retirement savings can really go the distance.
Okay, first up, let's get into what we're calling the retirement equation. Because it's not just about finding a sunny spot with a golf course, right? It's really about striking that perfect balance between your financial security and your actual quality of life.
And that brings up a pretty big question. We all have this picture in our heads of retirement being this super relaxing time. But let's be honest, the reality can be incredibly stressful. The biggest worry for so many people is making a fixed income stretch for what? Decades. That kind of financial pressure can really get in the way of enjoying those golden years.
And that's exactly where this new analysis from WalletHub comes into play. These guys have done the homework, meticulously digging through all 50 states to find the spots where your nest egg won't just, survive, it'll actually thrive. And that's the key to a truly comfortable retirement. And, WalletHub analyst Chip Lupo really hits the nail on the head here. The whole goal is to get that financial stress out of the picture so you can finally kick back and enjoy the relaxation you've worked so hard for. So, how do they figure this all out? What makes one state better than another?
Well, it all boils down to three key things. First up, and this is a big one, is affordability and taxes. Basically, how far your dollar actually stretches. Second, healthcare. That's a no-brainer. It becomes more and more important as we get older. And finally, the overall quality of life. That's the whole shebang. Everything from safety to fun things to do.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. This is the part you've been waiting for. We're going to count down the top 3 states that nail this combination of affordability, healthcare, and quality of life. Let's see who's in the winner's circle.
And the number 1 best state in the entire U.S. to retire in is
Wyoming. Yeah, I bet that's a surprise for some of you. But the data here tells a really clear story. Wyoming grabs that top spot because it delivers this powerful 1-2 punch of amazing financial perks plus a really strong, safe community.
Let's dig into why. First off, the tax situation there is a huge win. No estate or inheritance tax. But it's so much more than that. The state just crushes it in areas that affect your everyday life. Things like low costs for in-home care, a super low crime rate, and really solid protections for seniors. It's this whole package that looks after your money and your well-being.
Coming in at a very, very strong number 2.
It's the Sunshine State, Florida. Now, this probably isn't a huge shock. Florida's been a retirement hotspot for ages, and this study just confirms exactly why it's still got that magic.
So what's Florida's secret sauce? Well, it's pretty clear. Financially, it's a powerhouse. No estate, inheritance, or state income tax. But then you pair that with an incredible lifestyle. It gets top marks for having really well-funded services for seniors, and of course, just endless things to do, from all that coastline to a ton of theaters and golf courses.
And rounding out our top 3 is South Dakota. Another heartland state that really proves you don't need a beach to have an amazing retirement.
So what's South Dakota's superpower? It's all about top-notch healthcare. We're talking top-ranked hospitals for geriatric care and a really impressive number of family doctors available. Then you combine that with being tax-friendly and having low rates of poverty among seniors, you've got a state that's just laser-focused on keeping you healthy and financially secure.
Okay, so we've seen the winners, but let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. What this study really shows is that choosing a place to retire is, well, it's a game of trade-offs. What you might gain in one area, you might have to give up in another.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly. Just look at the cost of living. You've got Oklahoma, the lowest in the entire country, right next to Hawaii, which is the highest. We're talking about a 2-fold difference. That means your retirement savings could literally last twice as long in one state versus the other. That is a massive difference.
And just to show how important this balance is, let's look at the other end of the list. The study ranked Kentucky last overall. This really drives home the challenges you can face when affordability, healthcare, and quality of life just don't measure up. It creates some serious pressure. This brings us to some crucial advice from tax attorney Lauren Haddad Washburn. And this is so important. She basically says that before you even start dreaming about the weather, you have got to get a handle on the financials. If you overlook the cost of living and the taxes, it can totally sink even the best-laid retirement plans.
Which brings us to our final and, honestly, most important point. All of this data is a fantastic starting point, but the real mission here is to use these insights to find your perfect fit.
So the real key here is to take all this great info and build your own personal checklist. Yeah, the study shows that cost of living and healthcare are huge, but what are your non-negotiables? Is it being just a short drive from the grandkids? Or knowing you've got great public transit? Or maybe for you, perfect weather really is number one. It's time to figure out what matters most to you.
And really, if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. These rankings are an amazing tool. They're a great guide, but the number one state on some list isn't automatically the number one state for your life.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Now that you've seen what makes a state a great place to retire, everything from taxes to healthcare, what are the top 3 things on your personal retirement checklist? What's going to make the difference for you?